I was wanna move like this, you wanna do this too. You need to feel this groove, they don't need to understand. How they tryna play it cool, she give them something new. Everyone just take my hand, you don't have to pretend. Show them how it's different. Well, feel the same way, so just take my hand, let's take it back. I was gonna move like this, we were gonna do this too. We need to feel this groove, and we need to understand. How they tryna play it cool, she give them something new. Baby, don't you take my hand, we don't have to play pretend. Show them how it's different. Ooh, I love it, ooh, I love it, keep a wild away. Haka mata mali, don't look at that. And with the look in your eyes, I can see you feel the same way. So just take my hand, let's take it back.
And on my script here, no lie, it's a little moment for shameless self-promotion. So that was the song Howla from my brand new album that actually came out this month called Candid. No, sorry, I'm still trying to get over that. That was so cool.
Life.
Yeah, okay, alright. So did you guys have a good break? Yeah? Yeah? Couldn't wait to get back in? Yeah, me too, me too. So let's get into this second half. Now, the Cook Islands are made up of 15 islands, and each one has their own style of dance, which is pretty cool. So please put your hands together for our senior Cook Island group.
Just gonna sleep tiredly again.
He deserves to stay here tomorrow. Hello, hello. Oh, there we are. So a little bit of there's no script for this because the kids are changing and we need to have a little chat. So how good was that Tongan piece, huh? I don't know about you guys, but I was back there just like doing some kind of dance, which I'm glad you couldn't see because it was a little bit awkward. But that was an amazing track. Do we have any Tongans in the building tonight? Okay. How about this one? Any Pokelawans in the building tonight? Okay, straight up, that was literally my sister and my nieces. Yeah, no lie. So I'm just going to speak about Tokelau because that's one of the islands I'm from, if that's alright with you, while the kids are changing. So I am of Tokelauan, Tuvaluan, and British descent. Now, we're one of the smaller island nations, and I will tell you more about it later. I know you wanted to hear it.
It's good that you come together. That's a good view too.
Yeah, this one. You can see Rita.
Maria, Maria, Maria.
protesting to protect the very sacred Mauna Kea, or in Aotearoa, where Māori are standing up to corporations against the development on sacred land in Matavai. Or right here in Australia, where First Nations people were successful in closing down the sacred rock of Uluru, which is an extremely important ground for Aboriginal people. In the Pacific, many great leaders have emerged: warriors, chiefs, kings, queens, and peacemakers. In trying times, they have risen to lead our people to safety. Now, speaking of rising and speaking of warriors, next up we have the young Sivafi warriors, showing you their skills learned in Sivafi or fire knife class. Next year, Matavai will be taking 3 competitors, all female, to the fire knife world champs. Super cool. All right, let's go.
His Majesty, the German Emperor, President McKinley, and the government of the United States of America, and to Her Majesty, Queen Victoria, I appeal, make your voice heard, and assist my people in their cause. I ask and desire nothing for myself. My years cannot be many, for now I am old. The grave will soon enclose me, and I shall be no more. I beseech thee, listen to my voice, and grant my prayer.
via verso la soli.
Talofa lava, malo lelei, kia ora, kia orana, kula manaka, and greetings to you all. It is an honor for us both to stand before you all, representing not only ourselves, our Matavai ainga, but also our Matavai parents. Today, we are almost at the end of our show, and we just wanted to come up here and share a few words of gratitude for people that we believe have not only made this night possible, but also this entire year possible.
O le aso le nei na whaia le ni tātou te ori ori ma fia ai.
Amen.
I le awa man whaarwaru, o tu mai whatu loi pa ia mau runga I le nei a fiafi. Le awa fio a motu e fia o le Pasifiko o whatasi mai. A wale whatau waina o le soifuanga I Pasifika. Pacific Lives Matter. A vea ia lo leo vai vai, e vai ma fonga o alu ma whanau le Matavai. Mai tā ele o matou whatu. Matou te whaeleo watu ai le anganga whakatai tai o le Matavai. Fred and Mary Jane Swanky. Whapele lang sua o Doreen. Ma lore fi nawi mesis. O se lang kila o whapulau e pualim. O whamalo whai o le whai. Whakatai susunga I whaiahonga mo ngā benga le nei tausanga. Mo le foi le whakatai mātua umo le Matavai. I le tō sua I ngā benga whai o le nei tausanga. I le whangalu wina foi o mai masani al Matavai sa whasosoani mai. Whakatai whakitoa isi o mātua tina aputua no fionga moe po mamanini. Whakatai lau tapuengo le nei wa Mai manguia whai o le nei tausanga. Ai mātou te asu atu foi vai mā lui puengi I o tōwhina ngana. Isi mātou a leo I le nei tausanga. Ai mātou te wha moe lo o tōtou wha le atua. E mā ngana wai so mātou se se. Ia o uma mātou upu. Ia, tairanga no mua.
For the non-Samoan speakers, we just wanted to take this opportunity to thank the following people. So first and foremost, to all your family, friends, grandparents, parents, cousins, and all your relatives that have made Matavai possible. We are grateful for each and every one of you, and we are thankful for your sacrifices, for your time, your encouragement, and your commitment to not only us, our tutors, but most importantly to your children. We'd also like to take this time to thank our tutors. Without them, the beautiful dances that you have been graced with wouldn't be possible. Last but not least, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank our beautiful Matavai parents, Mary Jane and Fred Swanky. Without the Swankys, we wouldn't be where we are today. It is their vision that has allowed us to express not only our hearts, but the hearts of the Pacifica and Māori people. So ladies and gentlemen, in all, whakatai te lava, Fijian, Vinaka Wakalevu, Tongan I don't know, but thank you so much. We're Samoan, so we wouldn't know. But whakatai te lava from the bottom of our hearts, words will never come close to expressing how grateful we are for you all. And we just hope that as the years come by, you continue to strengthen your commitment, not only for us, but for Matavai. And it is our hope that your children will grow immensely, not only in their culture, but in their confidence. So, for the last time, whakatai te lava, thank you very much to you all. Soifua.
We're in. Wait. That's it. Let me see. Start. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys! Sorry for the interruption.
We just have a quick announcement we'd like to share.
So sit back, relax, and just remember, we just want to say thank you.
You know you're the best in the world.
Camera!
You can. You've always been our superheroes. You've always been our inspiration. To ever have my heart. We never broke my heart. You've always seemed to find a way to let us know that you love me.
Camera!
Far away while you're with me. I wanna say thank you, but thank you ain't good enough. After all we've been through, you've never run out of love. There's no words to say, but I love you. So I'ma say thank you. Just know it will never, no, never be enough. From the bottom of our hearts, and all of us here at Matavai, parents, students, we just want to thank you guys for your efforts and your love, for always going above and beyond for each and every one of us, for treating us like your own. We're family. We thank you for loving us the way you guys do. Guys, why don't we give it up for Mary and Jake for
Get away from it.
And that concludes the Matavai showcase tonight. Before we finish, I would just like to say a huge thank you to yourselves for being a wonderful audience. And I would like to, if you could please join me in welcoming on stage directors of Matavai, Fred and Mary Jane Schwenke, to say a few words. Thank you very much, Olivia. Please give a hand for Olivia. She's been so gracious to come and support us here tonight. Tautoia, ipanatia, o tautianga, na le siu a mo e le fasale le anga. Tauto fo isa le vau filfili pa ia mamamalu faalania. E le ai se tau vau ali na te toe ngafa le fili tali ala, pe toe asa fo i le vai faalangu ali, a wā pa ia faafulunga tau le so. Ai tau ina o faapea, too low, too low, too low na lava. Ai o te faafeiloa i atu fo i, ma le faaloalo, I ainga mo lātou tama, o tama fo'i mo lātou ainga. Tu mua mapule, ainga I le tai ma le waa whanoti. Whawhelo I atu fo'i ni pa ia lasi lasi o le Pasifika ua poto poto. Ta lolo pa ia I o sa mo le ama mala, I le whaasoungo le atu polo polo ma le atu polasa. Nu fo'i whaatini o tau sara. E le toe pau ina whaatupe muli o tau le whonga, o na pa ia ma o na mamalu sau tua whawhawha. Ai whaafutai le atua o lea wala tonu na matangi, whaapopo I whale manu I lona a ao lawe ai, ua tau ai lau o le whaamoemoe o lea so. Ta alofa, Pacific greetings, tēnā koutou katoa I orana aloha, pula minaka ma aloe lei. It is great significance that I first address you in my mother tongue of Samoan language. For it's in those words and proverbs that I spoke. It really is hard not to feel such great respect for my forefathers, for their brilliance. Also including my own father who was of Irish descent and my mother who is a proud and staunch Samoan Pasifika woman. And of course my husband born and bred in the islands in Samoa, also Samoan Chinese and German background. But all in all, we are from the Pacific. This year went by in a flash. There were so many blessings and amazing opportunities. Our kids started the year performing for the Sydney Sevens. We were commissioned to come up with a show that brought together the Pacific. They were on television a number of times, Good Morning Show, Play School. They were on television in New Zealand. We performed in NRL games at Bledisloe Cup rugby union gatherings representing the islands, and we were invited to schools and taught our most vulnerable in the juvenile justice centres. We travelled to Aotearoa and we lived like Māori. We also fundraised and donated over 20,000 pa'anga and tālā to the Samoa and Tonga Cancer Societies. And while we were at it, we put on a production. We turned up every week and we lived out our dreams. And here we stand before you today, extremely proud of our kids, And I would like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the parents for trusting us with your most precious assets, and that is your children. I thank you all, loved ones, for coming tonight and attending the Matavai showcase. Another year's gone by, bigger vision. More work, yes of course, but there's no other way than what we're currently in and what we're currently doing, teaching our youngest to our oldest, and most importantly, building a community based on love. Our dream is to see a center where people from all walks of life seek out, where they can feel and experience the culture of our people, a place where our children can call their home away from home, where they'll be empowered and inspired. They'll be inspired to lead or just to be the best at whatever they choose in life. That not one of them ever feels smaller than or unable to reach their full potential. Our children have the most arduous task of saving our earth and the job of rebuilding and maintaining empathy and compassion, love and hope in a desensitized and often cruel world. When even our leaders lack compassion and money is the sole purpose that drives policies and leadership, our kids will be the change. And one day they'll be sitting on those tables that make those decisions. That is the ultimate dream. Our Pacific Islanders need them too. And we all need to stand up together for the sake of the future of our islands. For if our ancestors could navigate the biggest space in the world, then we should be inspired to never give up.
Amen.
This year we were confronted with rising suicide rates, mental illness, poverty, gang violence, climate change, and a government that openly disregards us and denies that there is a climate crisis. After all, we can come to Australia and pick the fruits when all goes under. At the Pacific Forum this year, our leaders were brought to tears when they almost were overcome with hopelessness. We stand under the same moon as our ancestors. They pioneered and they faced many struggles. Their knowledge and bravery we could not possibly fathom, but we have certainly inherited. We only need to claim it. Perhaps we are seen as small or uncivilized or vulnerable, but to us here at Matavai, that couldn't be furthest from the truth. Perhaps the writing is in our language, in our stories, in our history. We only need to claim it. Hold on and let that be the source of power that we need to continue forward. We do have issues like many communities, but it's nothing that cannot be fixed, especially together. If you are struggling, if your mind is playing tricks on you and telling you to give up, that you're not needed, if your mind is telling you that you're not wanted or loved, I tell you now, they are lies and don't believe it. For if you are breathing, then your purpose on earth is not yet done. Keep fighting. Matavai is a place for you. If you feel you don't fit in, and I've heard this a lot with our young people, maybe you don't fit the ideal Pacific Island type. Don't believe that too, because there's no such thing as a plastic islander. For if you have blood that runs through your veins and roots that lie in the Pacific, then there's no way you could be a Pacific. All you need to do is learn your history, your genealogy, and learn more about the country of heritage you are from. Our people come in many varying types. You only need to look at our greatest leaders and icons. They were the most colorful and bravest people. Some might even call them crazy. We are blessed to have human relationships like these, and we're deeply privileged to be part of these young people's lives. Thank you to our wonderful staff, to all our parents, our tutors. Can't say all their names, but Jasmine, Raven, Jason, Grace, Kenna, Leslie, Elaine, Fred, Fire Mari, Minamaidani, Fire Lucy, Matua, Brendan, my sister Doreen, our kids, Gwen, all the mamas and papas, Alofa, Letta, the list goes on. My apologies if I don't say everyone's names, but you know who you are. Our elders like Jason's mum for sewing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. We don't know how to repay your kindness. Lastly, I would like to say thank you to Olivia for taking the time to be here with us tonight. Olivia's album plays non-stop at Matavai. We're so proud of her because she's someone that our kids can look up to. She was an extremely positive role model, and I looked up to her father growing up, Opitaya, and of course Julie, Hawaii. Thank you so much for this wonderful young woman that you raised. So Julie would like to give you some flowers. Olivia would like to give you some flowers. Can you please put your hands together for Olivia? We can turn the lights on. Isn't she beautiful and smart and talented? Okay, children, be grateful. Don't take your families for granted. Don't take those opportunities you're given in Australia for granted. Many young people in the islands can only dream of what you have, but you have them, so use it. Life is precious. Your time with your loved ones is precious. Always be grateful and remember your Pacific values. Remember God, remember you are loved, and work together to build one another up. When one succeeds, we all succeed. Ladies and gentlemen, 2019, Pacific Lives Matter. God bless you all and thank you for coming.
Check. There comes a time in everyone's life.
Woo! Get ready!
No room for mistrust, no room for hate. And open up your heart and don't look away.
Quality in life is hard to find. Like a child of an open mind, tenderness, sensitive to a smile. Beautiful children, longing for life. Beautiful people, young and bright. Beautiful children, longing for life. Worldly people, take away the night. These are the feelings from our heart. There is no trade for love and affection. Love for me and love for you.
Ooh la 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 la. So take a stand and hold your ground. Yeah.